Armaan, you okay?
Yes, I'm good. How are you, Carl?
I'm not too bad, my friend. Not too bad. I like the new track. It's a bit different than when you did Echo, which is we'll talk about that anyway. But
Yes.
it's totally. I presume it's more your comfort zone doing like the ballady type things like you, because that's what you've done previously. Or would you say? I mean, the question is, I mean, it's still a joint question, but what I'm trying to say is, would you be happy doing both, or is your heart still with like the ballady type stuff like you?
I actually love doing everything that I can as a
Yeah.
musician, and just the artist that I am. I sing in multiple languages and across genres. So for me, I love dabbling into different things. Obviously, romantic songs is something that I'm known for back home in Bollywood and in India. So that is something that people really look forward to from me, love songs and ballads. But
Yeah.
personally, I love doing everything that I can because I don't like restricting myself as an artist. And it's just wherever my heart takes me as a musician.
And if we could just touch on when you did Echo, how did that come about? Because I know that opened up many opportunities, but worldwide, because obviously with the Korean market and the US market more so than you took off there. But
Yeah.
how did that come about? Did you sort of write the track, or were you approached to just sing on it? I mean, what's the full dynamics on that one, the history to that one?
Well, I had recorded the vocals for the demo of Echo in LA while I was there for my writing sessions.
Mm.
I met Kashmir, and he also has Indian roots. So we just jammed on a few ideas, and he was like, "Okay, I have this cool demo of Echo. Would you mind cutting it?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure, man. I'll just lay my vocals down and let's see where it goes." And that was that. And then I came back to India, and after Control released and a couple of my other singles released, I was searching for more songs to do, and I had this demo of Echo in my phone, and I just kind of hit up Kashmir and said, "Dude, this sounds sick. I think we should do something with it."
Mm.
And he was like, "Yeah, that's great, but we need to complete it. We need a second verse to it. We need to finish it up." And I was like, "Yeah, I really feel like we can get another vocalist on board to kind of like do the second verse. It'll add something to it," is what I felt at that moment. And parallelly on Twitter, Eric Nam and I kind of had this friendship going on. Someone asked Eric, which are the Indian singers that you like? And he named me. And there was a conversation that happened on Twitter. And very soon after we got connected, our teams got connected, and we were already discussing collaboration ideas. And I never thought of Echo as a collaboration with Eric, but
Okay.
I was just like listening to the song, and I was like, maybe I should just send it to Eric and see what he thinks. And I just sent the song to him, and he responded back saying that I love it. I'm gonna cut a demo soon, and yeah, let's do it. And initially it was just me and Kashmir who were
Mm.
doing the song, and then it was my kind of idea that I really wanted to pull in another vocalist and add a new dynamic to it. And once we finished up the track, it was really cool to kind of like sit on it and just realize that these are three Asian artists from different parts of the world who are coming together. Obviously, when they do their own music, they're doing different styles of music. But when they came together, obviously, it was a mixture of pop meets EDM and that whole dance vibe to it.
Yeah.
Yet it had a little bit of something of our own, musicality in it, which I really love. There is a little bit of Eric Nam, there's a little bit of Armaan, and there's obviously Kashmir's produced the track. So I love how that came together. Obviously, it was a struggle to kind of release it because we were in the middle of a pandemic. Eric was in Korea, I was in India, Kashmir was in LA. So just making all of that work and
Yeah.
across time zones was definitely a huge task, but we made it happen, and I'm really proud of it.
And it played out. It's a fantastic track, and I have to say it. You worked wonders with that record, man. Honestly, all three of you,
Thank
to
you.
be
Thanks a lot.
around the world, and yeah, it went down really well. So How, I mean, on that one, how was it sort of received in India then? Because I know you mentioned obviously with the three Asian artists, but and obviously you're around the world. But how, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously with you being in India, and the records you do there, how was it received out there in India? Because obviously I'm not there and I can't sort of understand,
Yeah.
get a gauge. So.
Oh, it was received really well because people here listen to a lot of my Indian music and also listen to K-pop now, because obviously the growth of K-pop has been phenomenal in the last few years. So there are a lot of listeners and fans in India that listen to K-pop and to EDM. Kashmir has a huge fan following here as well. It really, really did well in India, and I've done a couple of concerts now post things opening up, and literally they sing the chorus back to me and I don't even need to sing it. So I do know that it has spread out, and people know about it and are jamming to it. And I've had a lot of people just come up to me and say that I've been working out your track, man. It's totally an energy booster and stuff like that. So it does feel so good that me being from India, having done Bollywood for so many years, venturing out to do something so different, and actually a very uncharted territory for an Indian artist. For me, I'm really looking forward to this journey and very hopeful, because it's already given me a lot of success right at the beginning of of my journey, and a lot of songs are already doing well, and I'm gaining a lot of different listeners from my usual music listeners, and that is what I really wanted to do. Obviously, I have a listener base in my Indian music scene, but I wanted to attract more and more listeners from around the world, and just probably explode outside of India. So that Echo has kind of initiated that for me, and I hope to do more and more such cross-cultural collaborations, and just put myself and my music out there.
I understand. You don't want to be pigeonholed, the phrase. You don't want to just be pigeonholed into, like, say, the Bollywood type music X. You know what I mean? You want to try different things, and
I've always been that kind of artist, Carl. I've obviously, while I did Bollywood, I also did a lot of other languages in India, which probably at that time not a lot of singers were doing. And for me, it was more about exploring things outside of my comfort zone, and just I hate being in a box. That's one thing that I can probably just tell you about me. If you go through my discography, there's like a bunch of music from different genres, and you might not even link one song to another and be like, okay, wow, that's Armaan. Oh, and that's Armaan. So I'm like, I just want everyone to kind of get surprised every time they hear me, and be like, wow, I never expected that artist to do this and that kind of music. So that's just the artist I am, and I love experimenting with stuff. And what I'm doing currently with my pop music is something that I've always wanted to do since I was a teenager. So I'm literally living my dream.
I've noticed, actually, you said about your discography, when I look at your records you've done, there's so much you've done. I mean, we're talking not 20 records, we're talking in the hundreds. It's ridiculous amount of songs you've done, and in various languages as well, which, I don't know where to start on that. I haven't got along with you, but was it always I mean, talking about the language you're singing about, was it always a conscious decision by yourself to do that? Because, you speak, well, I mean, how language you do speak, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, I don't know how many you speak, but to sing in
I primarily speak just 3 languages.
Okay.
That's it. Most of the languages that I sing in, I just sing in them. I don't talk or speak them. I definitely have started understanding them while singing, because obviously I have to know the emotion behind what I'm singing. So obviously the lyric writers and songwriters convey that emotion in that language for me, and I then deliver that in the right pronunciation and enunciation. But I speak just 3 languages, but I sing in more than 10, and that's just been me since I was a 9-year-old kid. I've been singing and performing since that age. So yeah.
It's a feat in itself, man, honestly, and I respect you for that, because like you say, you're not just singing the songs or the words, you've got to understand the emotions as well, and that takes some doing. So I'll take my hat off you for that, man, honestly.
Thank you.
Thanks. And the new record, then, obviously that must have been filmed in Paris, I presume, wasn't it? It looks like Paris. Anyway.
Yes.
I don't know, it looks stupid then. I know it looks like Paris, but I just presumed it was. But when was that shot? And obviously with the and was that done quite recently or?
It was done quite recently. Yes. I shot it towards the end of no, actually I shot the at the last year. Yeah,
Okay.
December. November, December. Yeah. November, sorry. I shot this in November. Yeah. And it was extremely cold. And as you can see, I have a lot of layers on in the video. So I mean, but it was a 24-hour shoot. That's it. I mean, I had gone there for a concert, a private concert, and I finished that up, and I had a few days on hand, and I was like, I have this really beautiful love song, and I'm in Paris. It's a no-brainer to kind of shoot a love song in Paris, and that backdrop is just beautiful. And within like 3 days, we kind of locked a crew from Paris locally, and we got a video done, and I traveled back the day after the shoot back to Bombay. So
you did that then. That was just done on the fly then. It wasn't like you planned it. You went there and just did it.
I did go to Paris for my show, and I had at the back of my head that I do want to do a video, but I had no team. I had no crew locked in. It's just when I landed in Paris that I put everything together, me and my team, and we made it happen. And honestly, it does not look like that. When I saw the final output, I was like, wow, this looks like something that we really, really thought about and conceptualized since like months. But I mean, great things just sometimes happen magically, and I believe like that video was a result of that. And this song in particular is one of my favorites that I have put out. Not only because it's obviously a love song and a ballad, and people resonate, with that with me, but just because it's just a super beautiful song. And for me, I think it's a song that is not momentary. It's something that I feel will stay on whenever anyone feels this kind of emotion and wants to relate to it with their loved ones and people that they think about. So it literally stems from that.
And it is a beautiful song. I have to say the words in it are very beautiful. So, you've done a good job there, honestly.
Thank you.
But you've got lots of experience, so you don't like you've written, like I said before, you've written so many songs. But then you do so many things as well. I mean, how do you find the time to do all these things? Because it's like you're only 26, 27, I think. So you're still very young.
I'm 26.
You're still very young. And...
honestly, I would say a lot of it. My mom has helped me a lot since I was a young kid. She literally was my momager, taking me from recordings to shows and stuff like that. And she was the one who used to manage my time really well, and that kind of stuck on even till date. So for me today, I'm able to dabble into a lot of things and still put out. I myself, I don't know how I do half of the things that I'm doing at the moment, but I would say it started early because of my mom and the way she kind of brought me up, and she encouraged me to kind of like do all of this since a young age.
And it's in your blood, isn't it? Because I know your dad, your granddad, your brother are in the industry.
Oh yeah, the whole family is in music.
And it's just, so was the pressure always on from when you were a kid then to sort of, no one say follow anyone's footsteps, but do you know what I mean? Coming from the family background that you've got with the music, it adds a lot of pressure. Do you know what I mean? Because I know a lot of musicians I speak to are kids of, other singers or artists or whatever. The pressure's always there, and some do so well, some don't. And you obviously have maybe done better than anyone I've spoken to. Already, not talking about 10 years, I'm talking about now. You've done so well,
I never felt any pressure from my family. Actually, my family wanted me to not be in the music industry. They wanted me to just do my studies, and if at some point music does draw me to itself, we can navigate that then. But they never really pressurized me to take up music. However, they did encourage me to go and take music lessons because I did show early signs of being good at singing. And they wanted to make sure that, if this is something he's good at, we should nurture it, and we should kind of, hone his skills. And that's exactly what they did. They enrolled me in singing lessons, in guitar lessons very early on. And it was never a decision that they made for me. It was a decision I made for myself. And at the age of 8 or 9, believe it or not, it was just my thing. I went up to my parents and I said, listen, I want to do this for the rest of my life. That's it.
Yeah. At such a young age, 8 years old.
Yeah, I don't know how I had that confidence at that age. I was just like, so, and I was dead serious about it. I went to my parents. I've always been someone who's like over mature. I'm 26, but I think I'm an old soul. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have this old person talking in my body. But when I was 8, I just went up to my parents and said, hey, I love music. I know I can sing well, and I think I should. I want to do this. I mean, there's nothing else I think that there is for me. I'm meant for this.
It sounds like I'm talking to someone my age, and I'm 48. So I'm not saying you are. You don't look 48, but I mean, in mind how you speak.
Oh God.
So, and last question. I know you went to America to do some of your studies, later on. How did going to, I think it was in Boston you went to? Was it Boston?
I went to Berklee College of Music for like the summer course. Okay. I got like a full scholarship to attend that. They'd come down to Mumbai, India for auditions, and I went and auditioned, and they gave me a scholarship to attend the summer program there. And I did want to pursue it full time, but I came back and started working on my album. And obviously work happened and Bollywood happened, so I didn't get much time to kind of go back and study. But that summer program lasted like 2 months or 3 months, but it really, really changed my life. And I would say the songwriter and the singer that I am today, there are pieces of all those experiences that I had in Boston and Berklee that I still carry with me today.
Yeah, that's well the question I was going to ask you, how much of that, but you just answered the question. So yeah, how much of the influence you have been there.
It did, for sure. I mean, honestly, it was a place where there was only musicians around me from all around the world. So I felt at home. I was like, wow, this is the kind of place I want to live and breathe in, where there's only chatter about music and nothing else. And it did influence me in a lot of ways. While I did learn Western music, I embraced my Indian musicality there and did quite a few performances in the Indian style of singing, merged with R&B and pop, which laid the foundation of the kind of music that I do want to make in the future as well in my pop music. I don't know if you've noticed this, but in quite a few of my songs, there are small little Indian inflections that I do in the way I sing. Or probably musically. There was a song called How Many in which I used the tabla behind with like a cool R&B beat. So I want to continue to do that, blend a little bit of my musicality and where I come from. Not make it exactly fusion, but make it global sounding and yet have something from where I come from.
It's good to keep your identity, but like you say, the music, and keep it into the tracks. Yeah. And like you say, you don't want to change it. And that's the old man speaking in your head again. I'm talking to someone my age again. It's just.
I think I should just shut up.
No, man. Honestly, you've been a joy to talk to, man. Honestly, I really appreciate it. And to someone who's got a social media following like you have, we're talking like humongous, like we're talking like Justin Bieber territory on some of the things. I mean,
I still have some time to reach his numbers, but yeah, I mean, I'm blessed and grateful for the kind of love that I get online, and just having the support of so many people out there. I think that's what makes it all worthwhile, to be honest. I mean, they look like numbers, but they're actual people that are supporting me, which I really love.
Yeah. And how do you deal with it all? And how do you deal with all the social media sort of platforms? Do you just spend one day on one, or have you just whenever you switch something on?
I'm kind of fixated to my phone, and like my mom's really angry, and I spend most of my day on the phone or Instagram or Twitter or whatever, just seeing what's happening and posting reels and small videos of me singing and stuff. I'm just obsessed with social media, but obviously rest of the time I'm doing music and I'm in the studio. I'm very close to my fans. I kind of chat with them like they're my friends. So it's a very personal approach that I have on my social media, and I love that. And I think that's probably the reason why a lot of them keep engaging with me on these platforms.
It's good to be like that, man. But no, well, honestly, thank you for your time. I know I've run over anyway. So where are you, by the way? You in India, or you?
I'm in India actually. Yeah, I'm in Mumbai,
Okay.
and I'm just I was in a session. I'm heading home now,
Yeah.
but I'm now parked on the side of the road to do this interview.
All right. Well, I appreciate you doing that for me anyway, man. Honestly. And
Not at
hopefully,
all, man.
and
Thank
hopefully,
you.
I'll get to see you
I'm
come to UK and get to perform here at some point soon. So
Yeah, I mean, I am planning a few shows, and I will definitely let Kat know about it. And obviously, I would love to meet you in person as well.
yeah, I'd like that. I really would, man. But like I say, it's been a joy. And when I say you got the old man, I don't mean that in a bad, but you know what I mean, don't you? I'm talking
Not
about
at
you.
all. I'm honestly, I said that myself, so I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm good. I know. I recognize that about me.
Yeah, no, honestly, man, it's been on. But I really appreciated your time. So yeah,
Thank
well,
you.
no,
Thanks, Carl. Thanks a
thank
lot.
you,
Pleasure
and
speaking to you.
a safe drive. Okay, man, I'll speak to you again soon. Thank you.
Yes, same here. Thank you.